Okay. But anyways, my name's Sierra, and I'll be helping you out. And Adrian, right?
Yep.
And this is for English 101?
Yep.
Okay, cool. And have you ever been here before to the Learning Commons?
Yeah, I went like once.
Once? Okay. Very cool. And it's 9? Yeah, 9. Perfect. Okay. So, let's see what we're working on here.
So I'm working like the sheet paper.
Okay.
I just want to know like the organization of it, and then that was like I have never worked with like APA,
Okay.
so I am not sure about that one. I have everything though, but I don't know if that's how you're supposed to do it.
Okay, and like the references too.
Yeah.
Okay, so the things you want to focus on are organization, format, APA, and maybe the references with
Yep.
that. Okay, is there anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, perfect. So that gives me a good idea of what we'll work on. So what I usually do first is either I can read it out loud or you can. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Which do you prefer?
You can read it if you want to.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So, immigration. According to dictionary.com, immigration is the movement of non-native people into a country in order to settle there. Immigration has always been an issue, especially with the new administration. It has been putting in place new laws against immigration and had taken away some benefits that the undocumented people had. Not just adults are suffering from new laws. Children have also been affected from it as well. Numerous children have suffering from the separation of their families. This have caused psychological problems on them. Also, the DREAM Act that support undocumented child had facing some changing, making it more difficult to have it. Then the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, that help undocumented teenage to pursue education have been changed, and now it costs more than ever. Everyone deserves peace and do not need to think every day, where am I going to be tomorrow? Okay. Separation of families. Families belong together. Form the new immigration policies, not just a...
That was from, I think. Yeah.
From?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, good job. From the new immigration policies, not just the adults are been affected, but the children as well. More than 4.1 million U.S. citizen children under the age of 19 live with at least undocumented. One, maybe?
Yeah.
Good job. One undocumented. As well, roughly 500,000 U.S. citizen children experience the apprehension, detention, and deportation of at least one parent in the course of about 2 years. According to the most recent estimates available, analyzing immigration and customs enforcement ICE data between 2011 and 2013. Also, about 2,500 children were separated from their parents after the Trump administration announced a zero-tolerance policy in April aimed at discouraging illegal immigration. These children will go to foster care if they are U.S. citizens. Otherwise, they will go to a concentration camp. The lucky ones, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. The lucky ones that go to a foster care are more likely to suffer from anxiety and mental health problems and drugs abuse. Most of them will not pursue a higher education. According to a study realized in New York shows that these parents are extremely dedicated to their children's well-being and development. Undocumented parents typically work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, at the lowest of wages. Deporting them worsens the already precarious law of their children. Also, according to an Urban Institute research, children in Hispanic immigrant families may suffer psychological distress after seeing their peers separated from parents and may experience economic dislocation in communities deeply affected by deportation. Hispanic adolescents in focus groups identified many sources of stress related to perceived discrimination and cultural differences. They also cited significant levels of stress associated with immigration-related issues such as separation from family members, leaving relatives and friends behind in their home country, and learning English. These stressors may be exacerbated in settings where Hispanic children have seen and heard about the arrest and deportation of parents, of their classmates, friends, and fellow community members. Families Belong Together is a movement led by more than 270 organizations. That is in more than 700 cities all over the United States. Where they had raised millions of dollars for immigrants, families, and children. They focused on march and rally to stop the separation of families and promote dignity and unity. This movement have had more than 600 marching in the entire United States in cities like New York City, Los Angeles. DREAM, Development, Relief, Education for Alien Minors. Fortunately, the DREAM Act came introduced on August 1st, 2001. The DREAM Act helps individuals that have completed some form of education in the U.S. and also have entered the U.S. before the age of 18 to make a pathway to naturalization. Throughout the different admirations, the DREAM Act has been proposed to be taken away. Okay. Administration, right? Okay. The Dreamers, it is the term that had been used to describe youth immigrants who have been living in the U.S. for almost their entire childhood and identify as American. Of the approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, more than 1 million are dreamers, undocumented young people who were brought to the United States as minors and have spent most of their lives living in the United States. Also, with the new administration, the Dreamers have had a hard time since the act is facing elimination. For many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act, but on the night of April 22nd, 2018, they saw little of hopefulness when a federal judge said that he was ready to open applications again. Also, Fernanda Duran, the communication manager at CASA, said, "First thing this morning, I opened up my email to find inquiries from potential applicants. We're telling them to get all their paperwork together. Let's get ready. First thing this morning, I opened up my email to find inquiries." Okay. Is this supposed to be
a quote? That's a quote.
Okay. I was going to say, because this is this. See how this is the same sentence?
Okay.
I think it's just on there twice, but. Okay. The future of this act is unknown, but so far it has stay and help numerous immigrants wanting to pursue high education. DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. There's another program that helps youth undocumented, the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, created on June 15, 2012 by then Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitanto. DACA provided temporary relief from deportation and authorization for a work period of 2 years and up to renewal, but there is a cost for the renewal of almost $500. Also, it is the first large immigration reform to affect undocumented immigrants in the United States in decades. Approximately 800,000 youth unorganized immigrants have received work permits and protection from deportation through the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA, since its creation 5 years ago, and almost 690,000 of these immigrants are currently in the program, according to. Okay, so yeah. Okay, good job. According to Gustavo Lopez and Jens from Pew Research Center, although DACA recipients are not eligible to maintain residency or citizenship status, it has helped a lot of undocumented to better their life and have the doors open to all of the basic necessities on today's world, like driver's license, be able to register a car, and have a credit card, etc. Also, DACA has some requirements to be eligible. They are: you are under 31 years old as of June 15, 2012. You first came to the United States before your 16th birthday. You have lived continuously in the United States from June 15, 2007 until the present. You were physically present in the United States on June 15, 2012, and at the time you apply. You came to the United States without documents before June 15, 2012, or your lawful status expired as of June 15, 2012. You are currently studying, or you graduated from high school or earned a certificate of completion of high school or GED, or have been honorably discharged from the Coast Guard or military, technical, and trade school completion also qualifies, and you have not been convicted of a felony, certain significant misdemeanors including a single DUI, or 3 or more misdemeanors of any kind. All this information is backed up by the USICS and comes website. Undocumented. Oh, okay. Comes from Undocu website. Conclusion. The current administration had firmly confirmed their anti-immigration policies. Even on October 30th, 2018, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump, claimed that he can defy the Constitution and end the birthright citizenship. This is source. This is an perfect example of immigration hate by him. Even he claimed that the U.S. is the only country having birthright citizenship, when in reality there is at least 30 countries with this law/rights, according to the CNN Politics. This news show how out of his mind he is. He want to get rid of an amendment, the 14th to be specific, with an executive order. Although activists have a loud voice to fight for it, they are and will fight for human rights to stop the separation of families for DREAM and DACA Act. Immigrants had helped to build this country many times. This is a country of immigrants. Hope, persistence, and determination are some of the more powerful fuel that a human can have. No human deserves the necessity of asking themselves, where am I going to be tomorrow? Okay, I really like that you ask that question at the end to get your readers thinking. That's really cool. And I'm just going to move this down a little bit. Okay, so a couple things that I noticed after reading this. You have really good information. I think your order is good. One thing, actually, I'm just gonna make a couple notes. And then we have, okay, so this first, is this like your kind of introduction,
Yep.
right? Okay, so can you just point out where your thesis is? Okay. So, okay, because this is a good, I like that you have this in here, but your thesis, should probably be a little bit more concrete. So,
like, don't.
let's see, because you're obviously, okay, I'm just gonna make some notes real quick. Okay, so you're obviously for immigration,
Yep.
right? So what are can you give me some reasons that support why you're for it? Or like some benefits or, okay, because, yeah. Children are affected, right?
So I would say that can just start like that.
Okay, so let's say, children are affected. Okay, and then let's think of two more really big reasons. Okay. So this program here.
Yeah, the program.
Mhm.
And then to pursue higher education.
Higher education. So we'll just say, educate. I'll just say education in general right now. But, and then and then you mentioned this. This is for, I guess, immigrants who have been here since they were children, right?
Yep.
So let's see. I'm trying to go to that paragraph. Oh, or here's a reason. I should have just looked down here. So families belong together, that could be one. I guess that could go with this though, huh? I guess I'm just gonna say dreamers. You talk about rights.
Yep.
So dreamers should have rights here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically you have all this information. We just want to make sure your thesis is more concrete, I guess, than it is right now. Okay, I like that you started with a definition, which that's a good, I guess, attention getter. Another way you could do that is just move this to the first sentence, because a lot of times your thesis, you want that to be your very last sentence.
Yeah.
Because your professor will look for that. So I like the idea of starting here. Everyone deserve peace and do not need to think every day, where am I going to be tomorrow? That's a great way to get your reader thinking. Okay? And you can keep this too. I mean, I wouldn't just say like, oh, get rid of that definition, because that's another good tool. But what I do know is that you definitely need a concrete thesis. So let's try to write this. Okay. So, these will be your main points. So what we usually do is you're gonna say like a statement, whatever, because I don't want to exactly write this for you. But so you're gonna say your statement, like an example one I would do, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I'll just say, I like sports, so I'll say, football is an important sport, because it teaches athletes how to work as a team, helps athletes work towards their goals, and then another point. Does that make sense?
Yeah. How about this one?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, that won't be like the thesis.
Okay. Okay, because this would kind of be like a supporting
That's
point.
careful.
You could say that though. So basically, let's just try it. Immigrants. Okay, so your immigrant had helped to build this country many times. This is a country of immigrants. So you could say, this is how the United States is made up, or you don't have to say these exact words, but is United States is or was made up or created by immigrants. Therefore, and then what else do you want to say about immigration? Immigration is, I mean, you could either say immigration is normal or immigration is not bad. I mean, something like that. And then because these reasons, right? Okay, because this is saying the United States created them. Created by, or made up, or something like that. United States is made up or was founded by immigrants. There's lots of ways to say it. Was founded by immigrants. Therefore, immigration is okay, let's see. The United States is made up of immigrants. Therefore, they deserve to have some rights. Okay, that's a really good start. Okay, but we need to list
Those,
these points.
some
So,
rights, like
or in this, yeah, they need to have some rights, and then comma, education, and then something about families or children. You could either say families deserve to stay together, or I think the children are affected would be more of a point of that, right? Because the children are affected if the families aren't together. Okay, so the United States is made up of immigrants. Therefore, they deserve to have some rights. Yep, I would probably just say rights. They deserve to have rights. And education. Or sorry. Like this. And education. And their families deserve to stay together. Perfect. Good thesis. That way, when your professor looks at this, they want that concrete, okay, what's this paper going to be about? So that's really good. Now I'm just going to read this again. Everyone, and this was another thing that I noticed, the verb tenses. Sometimes they're like in different tenses, or if it's a plural noun in front, then your verb has to match that. Does that make sense? So like this, I'll read it out loud. Everyone deserves peace, and does not need to think every day, where am I going to be tomorrow? Good job. Okay, and then according to dictionary.com, immigration is the movement of non-native people into a country in order to settle there. Immigration has always been an issue, especially with the new administration. It has been putting, the new administration. It has, good job. It has put in place new laws against immigration and had taken away and has taken away some benefits that the undocumented people had and has taken away some benefits that the undocumented people, I would probably just say had, we don't need had here, that the undocumented people had. Not just adults are suffering from the new laws. Children have also been affected from it as well. Okay, here, what is it?
From the laws.
Okay, so I would probably say from, or if you don't want to say laws again, you could say from them, because it is singular, whereas laws are plural, right? Affected from them as well. Okay, I'd probably, since we have a lot going on in this sentence, yep, I would end that sentence and then start new here. Numerous children. Okay, have is okay, but have suffering, have been, have been suffering from the separation, okay, of their families. So prepositions. So of is a preposition here. Oh, you already fixed it. Okay, from the separation. We wouldn't use of here. Sorry, thought you fixed it. Good job though. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Why we would say that? I know it can be kind of confusing. Why we use some in other places, but from the separation from their families. This have, okay, this could have, maybe. And then it's gonna be could have. Okay, good job. This could have, or this could, I'd probably just say this could cause psychological problems. Okay, on is another one. Nope. It's to.
To them.
Or for them. Psychological problems. Okay, sorry, I told you. For. I'd probably use for. See, even sometimes I'm not sure for a while. Also, the DREAM Act that supports, good job, undocumented child. Children. Good job. Also, the DREAM Act that supports undocumented children had facing. Okay. So since this is had faced, and then ed, sorry, had faced some changes, making it more difficult to have it. Okay, making it more difficult. Difficult for who?
For them.
For immigrants?
Yeah, for the children.
Okay, so I'd probably say making it more difficult for immigrants to have, maybe? Just so you're clear on who's the one. Okay. Also, the DREAM Act that supports undocumented children had faced some changes, making it more difficult for immigrants to have it. Okay, do we need this? I would probably just, yep, good job. Then, the deferred action for childhood arrivals or DACA. Okay, so here, do we need them? Okay. Okay, so this whole thing, DACA is your subject, right?
Yep.
So DACA or DACA help. Oh, okay. Do they still help or no?
Yeah.
Maybe just
Has.
helps.
Yes.
Mhm. Okay, the deferred action for childhood arrivals or DACA helps undocumented teenaged. Mhm. Good job. Teen. Here, I can help you too. It's teen and then agers. There you go. Undocumented teenagers to pursue. Okay, do we need two here? Okay. Pursue. Helps undocumented teenagers pursue education. And education? Let's see.
Yeah.
Pursue. Got pursue. And then, so we just need AN in front. Pursue an education. And have been changed. Okay, what does this part mean? And have been changed, and now it costs more than ever. Okay, so this you're saying an education does, right? But
No,
what is?
I am thinking. I am talking about DACA. So on that one, yeah, it has been changing over time, and it costs more than ever.
Okay, and
It has been changing
okay, so then
over
since.
time. Wow.
Okay, so maybe say what it is here.
DACA.
There you go. Okay, so now I'm going to read this. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA, helps undocumented teenagers pursue an education and have been changed over time, and now DACA costs more than ever. Okay, one suggestion. See how this is kind of a separate idea than this?
Yep.
Do you think, can we separate these?
Yeah, so just put it
I probably just put a period here. There you go. And then say,
DACA.
Yep, I probably put the subject first, so DACA, and this would be has been changed over time, and now, it costs more than ever. Okay, good job. The United States is made up of immigrants, therefore they deserve to have rights and education, and their families deserve to stay together. Perfect. And then, so one more thing. So with your thesis, whatever order that these are listed in, needs to come in your paper.
Okay,
So if you don't want to change all of this, we can just say the United States is made up of immigrants, therefore families deserve to stay together, because that's the first thing you list, right? I guess I should have said that from the beginning, sorry. And this would be, now we just have to add and in before that. And, okay. Therefore their families deserve to stay together, they deserve to have rights and an education. Okay, good. Separation of families belong together. From the new immigration policies, not just, okay, so here we don't need a comma. Not just the adults. From the new immigration policies, not just the adults have been affected. but the children as well. More than 4.1 million U.S. citizen children under the age of 19 live with at least one undocumented parent?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, good. As well, roughly 500,000 U.S. citizen children experienced. Okay, so this would be experience. As well, roughly 500,000 U.S. citizen children. Oh, there we go. Experience the apprehension, detention, and deportation of at least one parent in the course of about 2 years, according to the most recent estimates available. Also, about 2,500 children were separated from their parents after the Trump administration announced a zero-tolerance policy in April, aimed at discouraging illegal immigration. These children will go to a foster care if they are U.S. citizens, otherwise they will go to a concentration camp.
That one's not like that one. That one, I don't know how to say it. I don't know what's the name. It's not concentration
Right, because
camp.
that was one thing I was gonna ask.
I know.
Is it a oh, I just had it in my mind too. Starts with a D. It's like a detention place or something. We might have to look that up too to make sure we're saying the right thing. Detention, something like that, you know. Because I was gonna suggest that because concentration camp is a very like different thing.
Yeah, I know. That
So, oh, that's for okay, maybe that's not right either. That's for prisoners. Oh, that says detention. Okay. Family detention. I think that's right. It says family detention centers. Detention facility maybe, or something like that. And then it doesn't have to be capitalized. Sorry. Since it's just a general. If we had like a name of one, then we would. But like this. Okay, okay, so these children will go to foster care if they are U.S. citizens, otherwise they will go to a detention facility center. The ones that go to a foster care, okay, this would be foster home. Home are more likely to suffer from anxiety and mental health problems, and maybe including drug abuse. And then this would be drug abuse. Okay. Most of them will not pursue a higher education. According to a study, realized conducted in New York. Do you have the name of the study? Or is it just like, is that this one?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Here. Okay. Yeah, Yeah, because that says countered. According to a study conducted in New York, according to, okay, so then we don't need this here since we have that it was conducted. According to a study conducted in New York, and then we need a comma here, that these parents are extremely dedicated to their children's well-being and development. Undocumented parents typically work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week, at the lowest of wages. Deporting them worsens the already precarious lot of their children. Okay, is that the word?
Yeah, don't say
okay.
quote.
Precarious lot. Okay. Also, according to an Urban Institute research. Okay.
On this day, I'm tired of something.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm just gonna write this. Quotes. Long versus short. Because since I believe this is a longer quote, we'd have to format it differently. So it would be, this would usually be, instead of a comma, because short quotes, this is absolutely right, that's how you do it, but it's going to be like this, and then you'll take the quotes away, and then, okay, go like that, and then tab twice. Actually, I think it's like that. Okay, so it's kind of set further in. Is this the very beginning of the sentence?
Yep.
Okay, because this should be capitalized, right? Children has been given to their families. Okay, so then, and instead of, I gotta think on this. Might have to look it up, but I believe the period with the long quote is going to be inside, so right there, and then you'll have your source after. But we can do that at the end. But just so you know, Families Belong Together is a movement. This is led. Good job. By more than 270 organizations. That is in more than 700 more than 700 cities all over the United States. And then so I'd probably end that there. And then who is they? Okay, good. Where the members had raised. Members, I would probably just say raised. Where the members raised millions of dollars for immigrants, families, and children. Okay, they focused on marching. Good. And rallying. I think it's, this is a weird word. Yeah. I think it is. Rallying. They focus, okay, sorry, I missed something. Remember how since this kind of already happened, right, this event? So it's in the past ED, that's right. So they focus ED on, marching and rallying to stop the separation of families and good job, dignity and unity. And then are you getting the source for that? Okay.
So
or is that the name of it?
No, that one's the source.
About?
Yeah,
okay.
because it's double about.
Okay. Oh. Okay. This movement, what would this be? Has had more than 600 who? What?
Machines.
600 what though?
Release a machine. The events also.
Oh, I thought this was people. 600 people?
No, 600 like machine, like events.
Events?
Yeah.
So I'd say this movement has had more than 600 maybe marching events. Okay, because I thought it was going to be people. Marching events in the entire United States, in cities like New York, and then since we have only one other one,
Yeah.
New York and Los Angeles. Good job. Okay. Or you could do it that way. Dream. Okay. Fortunately, the Dream Development Relief and Education for Alien Minors Act came introduced. So how do we change that?
Where?
Was introduced on August 1st. Oh, introduced. Is that what you had? Yeah, that's right. On August 1st, and then we need to capitalize this since it's a month. August 1st, 2001. The DREAM Act helps. Okay, this is okay since this is talking generally. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So when we talk generally, you can talk in the present, but if it's like an event that's happened, you always want to talk in the past, so ED or whatever the ending is. The DREAM Act helps individuals that have completed some form of education in the U.S. and also, okay, since we're talking generally, and also has entered the U.S. before the age of 18 to make a pathway to naturalization. Okay, good. This sentence is good. Just the punctuation. Okay, let's see. The DREAM Act helps individuals that have completed some form of education in the U.S. Since we have "and" here, we don't need this comma. U.S. and also has entered. Okay, is this still the DREAM Act that has?
Oh no, this is about now the people.
Okay. Form the DREAM Act. Okay, so then since this is separate, I would just probably make this a separate sentence. Okay, and then talk about the subject of that. Also, okay. So then who is helping? DACA, right?
Yeah, no.
Or the DREAM, sorry. So also there you go. Also, the act helps the individuals that have entered or that entered the U.S. before the age of 18 to make a pathway to Okay, that's better. That makes sense. Throughout the different administration. Throughout the different administration, and then we need a comma, because there's a pause. Throughout the different administration, the DREAM Act has been proposed to be taken away. Okay, has been proposed to be taken away. DACA. The Dreamers The dreamers. It is the term.
So that is
Dreamers. Good job. Is the term that. Okay, is it still used?
Yep.
Okay, so let's say has. That has been used. That. Or dreamers is the term that. You could just say is used, since it still is. That, oh, no, that was right. Is used, to describe, youth immigrants who have, good job, have been living in the U.S. for almost their entire childhood and identify as American. Good. Of the approximately 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, more than 1 million are dreamers, undocumented young people who were brought to the United States as minors and have spent most of their lives living in the United States. Good. Also, with the new administration, since this isn't a name, we don't have to capitalize it. Good job. The dreamers have. Okay, this I'd probably just reverse. Have had a hard time since the act is facing elimination. Okay, see how that's a lot?
Yep.
So I'd probably end it there and say, there you go, start new. For many of the young immigrants whose future depends, this will go back to the prepositions, on this act, good job, on this act. Okay, so for many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act, it just says, but on the night.
It's about that.
Right, but okay, I think I know how to fix it. If we just, okay, I'd keep this a separate sentence, and then, oh, okay, many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act, many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act, maybe felt, we'll just modify this a little bit, felt, I guess I'm confused. Okay, because what happened on this night? Did it get reduced or?
No, it was like coming back again.
Oh, it was coming back.
Yeah.
Okay, many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act felt hopeful, maybe on, and then just get rid of this part. On the night of April 22nd, 2018, and then just say when. Yep. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Many of the young immigrants whose future depends on this act felt hopeful on the night of April 22nd, 2018, when a federal judge said that he was ready to open applications again. Good. Also, Fernanda Duran, the communication manager at CSA, said, first thing this morning I opened up my email to find inquiries from potential applicants. We're telling them to get all their paperwork together. Let's get ready. Okay. The future of this act is unknown, but so far it has stayed and help numerous immigrants wanting to pursue a And then we'd say a higher education. Okay, good. DACA, Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. There is another program that helps youth undocumented. Okay, so helps youth undocumented. So this is a noun, and this is describing it. So usually we put this first. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Helps undocumented youth. There you go. The Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA. Oh, okay. Created. Maybe combine these. There you go. So was created on June 15th, 2012 by then Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano. Okay, so we need something here. Oh, period, probably. DACA provided temporary relief from deportation and authorization to work for a period of 2 years. And okay, I'll probably end it here just as. Okay, so what is this part saying? Up to renewal. Or for renewal of something? The act can be maybe renewed. Oh. Okay, so then this is just going to be renewed like this. Sorry. The act has to be renewed in the period of 2 years, but there's a cost for the renewal of almost $500. Also, it is the first large immigration. Okay, again, since these are kind of separate, I would make this a period and say, and then what's it here? Is it this?
Yep.
Also, DACA is the first large immigration reform to affect undocumented immigrants in the United States in decades. Okay, great job. Approximately 800,000 youth, and then same thing, you just gotta switch that. Unauthorized youth immigrants have received, approximately 800,000 unauthorized youth immigrants have received work permits. And okay, did this happen, or I really don't know. They did?
Yeah.
Okay, had received work permits and protection from deportation through the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program, or DACA, since its creation 5 years ago. Great. And almost 690,000 of these immigrants are currently in the program, according to Gustavo Lopez and Jens from Pew Research Center. Sorry. Good job. Okay. Although DACA recipients are not eligible to obtain residency or citizenship status, it had helped a lot of undocumented, probably want to put something there, like people, or there you go, undocumented people, to better their life. And okay, since we have and, we don't need a comma here. And have the doors open to all of the basic necessities. How could we change this?
Today?
Good job. In today's world. Like getting a driver's license, and then
Being.
Oh, not like this, sorry. Being able to register a car and then this, and not to get too Englishy here, but this is called parallel structure. So when you have a list like this and you have the verb getting, being, that lets you know
Having.
this has to be having. Yep, good job. And having a credit card, etc. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. And have the doors open to all the basic necessities in today's world, like getting a driver's license, being able to register a car, and having a credit card, etc. Also, DACA has some requirements to be eligible. They are. Okay, and I didn't see anything wrong with that because I'm assuming you got that from just.
And then I was trying to see for another word like back up because that one says like to.
Backed up?
Yeah.
Forgot support.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? All this information is supported. Okay, supported by the and what's this?
Oh, United States Immigration Center.
Oh, okay. And comes from
That's the website.
Oh, okay. Website. Conclusion. The current administration had firmly. Okay. This is kind of current, right?
Yeah.
Has. Good job. Has firmly confirmed their anti-immigration policies. Even on October 30th. That was yesterday, huh?
Yeah.
So you're using good research. Even on October 30th, 2018, the President of the United States of America, Donald Trump. Okay, so is this a quote?
Yep.
And it says claim?
Yeah, that was like the title.
Oh.
That's what he's saying. So.
But is this a direct quote?
Yep.
And it said claim? Claim. Was it claims?
Yeah.
Or was it just claim?
I think it was just claim.
Because I might have to look at that. Just so.
Claims. Yeah.
Claims. Okay, that makes sense. Claims that he can defy the Constitution and end the birthright. Was it in the birthright citizenship? In birthright. Okay, that makes more sense to me. So that here, just take out the. In birthright citizenship. Okay, and then. Comma. This is a perfect. Oh, this would be A. This is a perfect example of immigration hate of maybe his hate for immigration. Does that make sense? His hate. There you go. For immigration. Okay, since that's a lot going on, I'm gonna end it here and then right, he even claimed, because we want to put the subject first usually. He even and then or he already said this, right?
Okay.
So be claimed, ed, claimed that the U.S. that the U.S. was the only country. I'd probably say that has birthright citizenship. That has birthright citizenship, when in reality there is at least 30 countries. There is. Okay, so see how countries is plural, so we need to make is plural R. at least 30 countries with these laws / rights, and then I would say period, and then start another one. According to
Oh, no, because that was from that.
oh, sorry. Okay, you're right. That's your source. According to we don't need the here. According to CNN Politics, this news shows how out of his mind. Okay. I don't know. Okay, I would probably. This news shows how he wants to get rid. I would probably avoid using that just because you don't want to. I don't know how to explain it to you. This news shows how he wants to get rid of an amendment, the 14th to be exact, with an executive order. Although activists have a loud voice to fight for, is this immigration?
Yeah.
Okay, look, for immigration. Immigration rights. They are and will fight. Okay. Although activists have a loud voice to fight for immigration, okay, because I think this is throwing me off, because although is saying, like, on one hand they're doing this, but then this, and I don't know if that fits right here. Maybe activists, because this is making me seem like you're gonna say something else. Activists have a loud voice to fight for, I would maybe just say fight for human rights for immigrants. Does that make sense? Okay, and then we want to list, and you did this on your own. Did your teacher talk about how you need to restate your thesis, kind of? Okay, perfect. Because this is exactly what you're doing right here, which is important. Activists have a loud voice to fight for human rights for immigrants. What did we say? That was our first one, and then education. What was the other one?
Yeah. And then.
Oh, the separation of families.
Yep.
Okay, so go down. Fight for. Oh, go up a little bit. Fight for. Okay, we want to put this one first.
Yeah.
Fight for. Or fight to stop the separation of families. To stop the separation of families. Okay, comma. For human rights for immigrants, comma, and education. Okay, period. And then we already have this, so we probably don't need this sentence. Maybe with the help, or an education with the help of dream, or with the help from journey, the dream, and the DACA Act. Just need the here. And there you go. And the DACA Act. Immigration has helped. Is it to build? Okay, so we don't need to help build this country many times. Therefore, this yep. Therefore, this is a country of immigrants. Okay. So, more powerful. Hope, persistence, and determination are some of the more powerful. What are these things? Are they feelings?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd probably say more powerful, or whatever you want to call them. But I don't know if fuels are a word.
More powerful. Powerful. What can I say with that?
Hope. I feel like hope is a feeling, whereas like persistence and determination are like qualities. I'd probably say qualities are some of the more powerful qualities that a human can have. No human deserves the necessity. No human deserves to ask themselves, maybe. I don't know about this. Deserves to ask themselves, where am I going to be tomorrow? Does that make sense? Yep. I know, sorry, it took a while. And I know we didn't get to your references today, but I felt like your verbs and things like that in your thesis were kind of more important.
Yep.
So make sure you save that right now. Just because But do you, do you have another time if you want to get help for references?
Today?
Anytime. When's your paper due?
That one?
Uh-huh.
I was supposed to finish like on Monday.
Oh,
but
no.
But I wasn't here. I was in the Carolina.
Oh, okay.
So I have to talk to him today.
Okay.
To see what
Sounds
he
good.
wants.
Well, if you have a little bit more time, maybe make another appointment and we can work with your references.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, thanks for coming
thank
in.
you.
Yeah, here. I'll give you this so you have this, just so we have what we worked on. Mostly the verb tense.